The village on the banks of the sea was a desolate place, its cobblestone streets echoing with the whispers of forgotten stories and faded memories. I, John, stood alone in the courtyard, a brave yet sensitive young orphan searching for hope in the midst of my isolated existence. The wind carried the scent of salt, a bitter reminder of the harsh reality that clung to the village like a shadow. In this forsaken place, I found solace in the simple routine of survival. Each day, I scrounged for food, braving the remnants of abandoned houses and the chilling embrace of the sea breeze. The village held the secrets of its former inhabitants, a ghostly presence lingering in the air. I was an orphan left to fend for myself in this forgotten corner of the world. One gloomy evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the courtyard, I noticed a figure standing at the edge of the sea. Catherine, a woman tormented by psychological trauma, emerged from the shadows that mimicked her pain. Her eyes, vacant and haunted, reflected the storms that raged within her troubled mind. In the dim light, I saw the warning signs etched on her face, a silent cry for help, a desperate plea for release. I approached her cautiously, sensing the fragility of her existence. Catherine's presence was a paradox, both captivating and chilling. She withdrew into herself, finding comfort in the dark corners of her mind, where the sea met the sky in an endless dance of despair. As I drew closer, the echoes of her pain reverberated through the cold air. "Are you lost, Catherine?" I asked gently, my voice a whisper against the howling wind. She turned to face me, a flicker of recognition in her eyes. "Lost? No, John. I'm not lost. I'm just misplaced." Misplaced, like a forgotten relic in this forsaken village. Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken sorrow. I could see the weight she carried, the burden of a past that refused to release its grip on her fragile soul. As days turned into nights, I became a silent companion to Catherine. We walked the deserted streets together, our footsteps echoing in the emptiness. She spoke little, and I listened, understanding the language of her silence. The village, once desolate, now held a flicker of life as our paths intertwined in the dance of companionship. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Catherine whispered words that sent shivers down my spine. "John, I want to thank you. You saved me from the clutches of death, but now I must reward you with a gift." "A gift?" My mind raced with curiosity and apprehension. What could she possibly offer in a place where hope was as rare as a blooming flower in the heart of winter? With a solemn expression, Catherine led me to the edge of the sea, where the waves whispered tales of forgotten dreams. The air was heavy with anticipation as she turned to face me, her eyes revealing a profound sadness. "I can't escape the shadows, John. They are a part of me, a reflection of the pain that consumes my soul. I must give you the gift of release, for you have been my light in this desolate darkness." Before I could comprehend her words, Catherine stepped back, her figure silhouetted against the fading daylight. In that moment, realization dawned upon me. The gift she spoke of was her own demise. She intended to repay my kindness with the ultimate sacrifice. "No, Catherine, don't!" I pleaded, my voice swallowed by the roar of the sea. I rushed forward, but it was too late. She slipped into the cold embrace of the water, disappearing beneath the waves like a fleeting memory. I stood on the shore, my heart heavy with grief and guilt. The sea, indifferent to the tragedy unfolding, continued its rhythmic dance. The village, now silent as a graveyard, bore witness to the sacrifice that unfolded in its forgotten corners. In saving Catherine from death, I had unknowingly become the catalyst for her final act of desperation. The gift she bestowed upon me was a burden too heavy to bear, the weight of a life lost in the shadows. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the village into darkness, I remained alone in the desolate courtyard. The wind whispered tales of a brave and sensitive young orphan who had sought hope in the isolated existence of a forgotten village. Yet, in the end, the shadows that clung to Catherine's soul had become my own, haunting me in the silence that followed her tragic farewell. And so, the village on the banks of the sea retained its desolate beauty, a place where the echoes of a fleeting companionship lingered, lost in the vast expanse of the forgotten.